I was going to walk into this review, and I was actually going to be making fun of Gohan. But after seeing what I saw in this episode, I actually don't want to, because there's something I really want to tackle now after watching this episode, which changed my overall opinion on Gohan, which I know is going to confuse many. Many are going to be fucking confused right now, because I know there's many I see in the comments, and I, myself included, am a little bit upset, because after Mystic Gohan and Dragon Ball Z with him fighting Super Buu, I was pretty upset seeing Gohan in the state he's currently in. I mean, it fits his character with how he's more of a family man, but it's really upsetting just to see how his potential was lost. But then, when I see this episode, my opinion drastically changes, because for one, there's some dialogue in this episode that foreshadows or hints at the possibility of Gohan getting some major development in the future. For one, majority of this episode, or half of the episode, was used for Gohan to have a fight against Ginyu and then Frieza. Well, Frieza, technically, he didn't fight Frieza. Frieza kind of just wrecked Gohan so bad that Gohan just passed out. But the main thing is that Gohan, he starts fighting. He starts fighting Ginyu. And he starts saying, like, in his mind, like, my power won't last long. I'm being in Super Saiyan since I haven't trained so often recently. I can't, maintain my Super Saiyan state quite long, which is utterly pathetic. Because after the training he did with the Cell Saga of trying to maintain his Super Saiyan and all that, it makes me disgusted to see that. But as he continues to say this, and he continues to get dialogue about how he hasn't trained, or he can no longer do so-and-so, or if he was fully trained, you'd be able to do this a lot better, it lets us know that Gohan is not at the pinnacle of power he once was, but we already know that. But the next thing is that explains why Ginyu was able to kind of kick his ass. But there's another thing we need to look at as well. At the end of the episode, Gohan is kind of pissing off Frieza. Like, he starts fighting Ginyu, and then all of a sudden, as Gohan does a blow to Ginyu, Ginyu's about to get back up and fight. Ginyu's not technically down. He can get back up. He's just getting used to the body. Gohan offers Ginyu, like, hey, you need to back off, you just need to get out of here, offering him, like, a chance to run away. And that was identical to what Goku did to Frieza at the end of the Namek Saga. And when you think about how that was done, Frieza snaps. He looks at Gohan's like, that reminds me exactly what Goku did to me. Fuck you, Gohan. Fuck you, Goku. I'm coming to kill you, Gohan. And in that scene, Frieza took out all his pent-up aggression and rage on Gohan. Like, straight up, he used Gohan as a punching bag, or I guess a death beam target shooter, because he was so angry with Goku that he started taking his anger out on Gohan. Like, he was so mad, because when he saw that scene, like, when he saw this entire reenactment of what Gohan was doing, like, exactly like his father, and Frieza noticed that, Frieza, like, snapped. He instantly snapped. He's like, fuck you, Gohan, I'm about to kill your ass. And started shooting Gohan down, put a death beam right in him, and he just drops down, and all of a sudden, Frieza continues to riddle him with bullets all in his body, and as he does this, it's probably one of the best moments of the episode, and probably by far one of the best episodes of Dragon Ball Super, and best moments of Dragon Ball Super, actually, one of the best. The reason for this is not because I like Gohan getting shot to death, but it's because of the meaning of that scene. The meaning of the scene is actually a really good way to start development for Gohan. For one, Gohan constantly, as he's being shot, Frieza is taunting him, constantly making fun of him, or constantly saying like, oh, you're giving up already? Son Goku wouldn't have done that. Why are you giving up? Or, saying like, oh, you done already? Why don't you run away? Taunting him constantly like Gohan would do in the past before Cell Saga. Like, run away, get scared, not fight back, couldn't do shit, and also just saying like, you're nothing like your father, you can't do nothing, you're giving up too easy. And when you see that type of stuff, that instantly reminds you of how Gohan was before Cell. And Gohan himself, that was one of the main conflicting issues with Gohan in the past. What really he needed to change to be able to fight Cell. And also how he became the person he was when he was fighting Super Buu. And when you see something like that, and you see how Frieza was saying this type of dialogue to Gohan, I feel like this is going to awaken something in Gohan to where he snaps. Like, he's going to fucking snap to where he's like, I need to stop sitting on my ass, and I need to actually start moderating some training, because what I just had happen to me is something I shouldn't have allowed to happen, because if I was in my pinnacle, this wouldn't have happened. I would have been fine, and I wouldn't have had to see Piccolo get shot in the fucking chest, which is another thing that's kind of hinting at possible development for Gohan, because let's look at Gohan's track record. One of the main things we need to look at Gohan is how when Gohan has the pain of loss, when he loses someone, he usually snaps. He snaps and awakens his hidden potential. For instance, let's look at what he did to the Ginyu Force, what he did to Frieza, what he did to Cell. You know, there's many examples, even Raditz. We see many examples how Gohan, when he has someone hurt around him, he usually snaps to where his hidden potential unlocks. And with this, it might awaken somewhat that, you know, mystic Gohan he had. And with that, maybe in the next episode, or later on down in the future, he might get back to his prime, where he was before Dragon Ball Super came about. And if that is going to happen, I cannot wait. I really hope that is the direction Gohan's character is going to do, because that could add some really amazing development for Gohan if he realizes he needs to moderate his training along with his studies and caring for the family. Because, I mean, right now, this threat he's dealing with, I understand Frieza kicking his ass. I know, there's a huge excuse for that, because Frieza, he's strong as fuck. But Ginyu kicking his ass, that's like, really, Gohan? So I cannot wait to see the development that Gohan is going to get, if it does go that direction. Please do not disappoint me, Dragon Ball Super. I really hope that's where you're going with Gohan's character, because I see the potential right now just leaking out of Gohan when it comes to this episode. So besides that, the beginning half of the episode, Ginyu's introduction back into the series. Hype. Just pure hype. Pure fucking hype. Like, I know many is not going to probably like it, because seeing Ginyu pose and stuff is probably not for everybody, which, I'm going to be honest, it's not the best thing ever, but just seeing Ginyu back and how he just gets his introduction, he changes with Togma, and he's like, I'm back, bitches! And you just see how he goes to Frieza, like, Frieza-sama, and he starts, you know, doing his poses and stuff, and Frieza starts talking to him. We get the tell of how Ginyu survived. I just couldn't help but laugh and have fun with that, because, like, seeing my boy Ginyu back and how he is fighting, it makes me happy, because, for one, it adds a different type of twist to Dragon Ball Super that we didn't see in the movie, and also it allows us to get really excited because you don't know what is going to happen next. Like, in terms of the way Gohan's beatdown was delivered in this episode, I felt like it was way better handled compared to the movie, because in the movie, Gohan, he got one punched by Frieza, and then he just fucking, he was done. He was just done. He was done with the damn movie. Like, he didn't have really any more interaction with the movie besides some certain lines. So I like the way this was handled, because Gohan, he got wrecked, of course, by what Togma did in last week's episode, which was a very cheap shot. But then after that, you have it to where Frieza just straight up takes his rage out on Gohan, just starts shooting him up, and it fitted so well with Frieza's character of how he is, and then what he was doing to Gohan, making Gohan just wake up from what he has been doing. So yeah, episode of Dragon Ball Super with Ginyu and everything, it couldn't have been any better in my eyes. It was too damn good. Even the animation looked great for Toei standards. It looked actually really good. Once again, I have to emphasize that Frieza probably looked the best in this entire episode. Once again, showing that Toei Animation has a bias towards Frieza and loves putting that extra quality on him. But anyways, you all have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.